Well, questions for Coach Lyght?
Too quick, we got to get settled first.
Yeah, no worries. Get organized.
You all have been fast.
Try to be.
Todd, if we could just start out by you giving us a comment on each of your guys back there in the secondary.
Absolutely. Starting off with Tariq Allen, he's been our longest committed safety out of Lassiter in Georgia. Outstanding young man, great student athlete. I think he's the type of player who can come in and help us right away, due to his size and strength. Got a chance to see him play this year in a fantastic game that went into overtime where he scored the tying touchdown, and they had a chance to win it in overtime, but their field goal kicker ended up missing. But phenomenal player, and obviously one of the best in the country. We're thrilled to have him. Paul Moala, a local talent, a guy who went out to the Polynesian game and did a lot of outstanding things, ran a kickoff back for a touchdown. Again, another outstanding young player who can come in and help us right away on special teams. I think that with his combination of speed and size and strength, makes him a very dangerous freshman coming in, and he's really going to push all the safeties in front of him, and he's going to compete early and right away. Houston Griffith, very talented defensive back out of IMG Academy from Chicago area. Had opportunity to play with his father at the Rams long time ago, and obviously getting the opportunity to coach Howard's son is going to be a thrill for me. Houston's dynamic athlete. We're going to start him at corner, but he has the ability to play both corner and safety, so we're going to move him around. I think he's the type of player who has such position versatility where he's going to be a real weapon for us on defense, and we're going to start him in the boundary, let him play a little bit of strong safety, a little bit of free safety, a little bit of nickel, and find out what suits him best in his skill set. But again, here's another guy who can come in, make a contribution right away for us. Tariq Bracy, the speedster out of California, Milpitas, outstanding young talent. A little bit of a smaller frame, so I think that in the strength and power area, he's going to have to do some work because he's a little bit developmental there. But his playmaking skills, his ball skills, his speed, and his reactive athleticism are second to none in this class. And so, again, I think he's going to be out there playing field corner for us. I know Coach Kelly was thinking about maybe moving him to offense and letting him try to run the ball a little bit, but he's the talented player that we want to keep on the defensive side of the ball, and I, made that known to Coach Lee, so there's going to be a battle for him. Joe Wilkins, long, tall athlete out of the Fort Myers area. Really smart kid. Love the way he competes on both sides of the ball. I think that his length and his ball skills can really make him an outstanding boundary corner. So I think that, for us, his background is more on the offensive side of the ball, which is okay. But, he came along his senior year defensively, becoming a more sure tackler. And then I think that, with his length and his speed, that he can become an outstanding press corner.
Was there some talk? I think there was some talk about Wilkins maybe getting a look at receiver.
Yes, depending on what happens with the wide receiver class, and I think that Coach Alexander feels really good about that, but he is such an outstanding wide receiver. I think that there's going to be some two-way play for him when he first gets here, and to really find out, where his skill set is best served on this team. Whether that be on the defensive side of the ball or on the offensive side of the ball, that's soon to be determined. But we'll know soon enough. And I know that he's the type of guy. He's a team first guy. So for Joe, it doesn't matter what side of the ball he plays on, just as long as he can contribute to the team in a positive way. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for smart, tough guys with the team first mindset.
With Tariq Allen, I mean, obviously one of the more highly ranked players in the country, and in this day and age,
yes,
guys decommit regularly or
right.
Just have difficulty staying with their original inclination. Is a guy like Tariq Allen, I mean, kind of the exception to the rule that
he is,
could stick with you guys through everything?
It's amazing because when Tariq Allen first came to the University of Notre Dame, he came in the summer with his father. He was a sophomore at the time. He was in 10th grade, and at that time he was still playing corner. And his film was outstanding. I mean, it was really outstanding film. And I remember thinking, this guy's special. And, you know, he's the type of player that you can see in 10th grade that one day he's going to play on Sunday. And so got him on campus, you know, had a great conversation with his father about, you know, education, athletics, and, you know, the combination of both being, you know, of a really high caliber here at the University of Notre Dame. And this is exactly what they were looking for. His mom was really big into the education piece of it. His dad was really big into the combination piece of it. And it was funny because he was in 10th grade, and usually we don't offer 10th graders, but I knew he was such an outstanding talent. I ended up offering him before he left. And then I remember we had a staff meeting the following week, and we were all sitting around, and everybody was like, oh, man, we should offer Derek Allen when he was on campus. I was like, don't worry about it. I already got that done. And so, you know, he committed early. He knew exactly what he wanted. So when you talk about the recruiting in this day and age, you know, with this generation and how kids are, you know, more apt to, you know, make decisions based on how they feel at the last moment, as opposed to, you know, going through their process and going through their due diligence and, you know, making a really, really smart decision what's best for them. Sometimes it's more about emotion. And I think that Derek knew exactly what he wanted from start to finish. He knew that Notre Dame was exactly what he was looking for. And even through the recruiting process, you know, he would text me back, and he's like, Coach, you don't have to text me all the time. I'm good, which is rare, you know, because a lot of guys want the attention. They want the focus on themselves. And, you know, Derek was kind of the complete opposite. He's like, Coach, you don't have to text me every week. I'm good. Just, you know, once every 3 weeks, and I'll be fine, Coach. I'm not going anywhere. And I was like, okay, I'm good with that.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a lot of guys like that?
Yeah, we need more Derek Allen.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Well, last thing for me, the early signing period, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, very interesting. Obviously, a learning curve for everybody, but I liked it. I think that it's really beneficial for, you know, the teams and the players, because for the players that know exactly what they want, like the Derek Allens, they can sign early and be done with the recruiting process. Also, when teams sign, you know, their first wave of players, whether that be 15 or 20 guys, now all the different universities from around the country, we're not all battling for the same 300 guys for the next 30 to 45 days. You know, that process is over. And so now the next wave of player gets bumped up, and there's more opportunity for everybody that way. The road was a little bit tougher. There's no doubt about that. But I think for the student athletes, especially coming out of high school and in high school, it was better for them.
You have Houston Griffith coming in for the spring practice, and you mentioned that you're going to start him off at boundary corner. But
yes.
Look at it's usually not typical to have freshmen be looked at so many spots. It's
right.
Like learn one spot, master that, and then maybe we can work with that. But
yes.
You feel confidence in being able to utilize him at a number of different positions? I
think so. I think that, you know, with his skill set, his speed, reactive athleticism, his strength and power, because coming from a program like IMG where they have such a good, you know, weightlifting program and a speed conditioning program, that, you know, he's a little bit different than a lot of the other kids that come in, like, say, Tariq Bracy, where the strength and conditioning program is not as strong as an IMG. So, you know, there's a lot of development for guys that come from programs like that. But for him, he's been through that hard work and that dedication that it takes to play at a high level. You know, IMG is one of the premier high school programs in the country, obviously, and I think that for him, I asked him what the toughest part about transitioning was, and obviously not being away from home was not one of them, because obviously he's away from home at IMG, but I think that the intensity of the strength program was a little bit tougher here, obviously, being at this level. But with his position versatility, he's going to have an opportunity to play not only on special teams but defensively early, yeah.
How much of a difference did it make for you, and also on the cornerbacks, who seem to, with Julian especially having an outstanding year, to be able to concentrate solely on that position group as opposed to having the entire defensive backfield?
Well, this is the way I put it when people ask me that question. You know, having the safeties and the corners are like coaching the running backs and the wide receivers. There's a lot. So with the 20-hour rule, you only have so much time, obviously. So, you know, a lot of that time is dedicated to install, defensive structure, and opponent scheme. And what you lose are a lot of the technique parts of it, because I didn't ever get to watch a lot of film with the corners on the one-on-one film with the technique part. And so you really don't get to bear down like you'd want to with the technique aspect of it when you got the whole group like that. And so being able to focus on one group Obviously, fundamentally and technically, they can be much more sounder because there's more time with one particular group. Yep.
Coach over here. From a skill set standpoint, what separates a kid from he could potentially play nickel or he could not potentially play nickel?
Right.
What are you looking for in a guy that could play nickel?
The key ingredient to a successful nickelback, at the collegiate level, is reactive athleticism, the ability to change direction really, really fast, have fluid hips, being able to diagnose plays, and being able to read into the box through the tackle, quarterback, running back, wide receiver triangle. And so, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for smart guys that can read and diagnose plays that have outstanding reactive athleticism.
Okay. And any kids that you've gotten that you could see 2-3 years down the road moving to that rover position, kind of like a Drew Tranquil ultimately did?
Yeah, I think that, when you look at our group, Isaiah Robertson is a player that I think that could move and be a really outstanding rover due to his length and his size, because Isaiah doesn't really weigh that much, but he plays much heavier because he's so physical at the point of attack and the way he steps to contact and the way that, he brings ball carriers down. So I could see him being a player that can move down to the second level and play that rover spot.